Good afternoon, everyone. Just Sheriff Smith and I today giving you your Montgomery County update. We're going to focus on where we're at with COVID cases, the vaccine, and then talk a little bit about the spring and summer. A lot of people getting excited about outdoor events and things of that nature. So we're going to get right into it. Cases for the last week, you'll see we posted online. We're 77, so that is good compared to where we've been in the past, going back to January. If you remember, the number was up near 400 and has steadily come down, and now has plateaued in the 70s in the last couple weeks, and I think it was in the 80s the week before that. So that's good. We are at for Montgomery County, a 3.4% 7-day rolling average, which again we like to see that under 4. And also, just for perspective, the statewide average 7-day rolling is 3.28, and actually, so we're a little higher than that, but not much. And for the region, actually, is 1.6. So we're a little high within the region, but again, it's not a terrible spot to be in relative to what we've seen. So that is okay. Again, we're heading into spring and summer outdoors. People are going to want to get together. I think you'll hear Jeff and I talk a lot today about just let's use some common sense, and there's going to be a lot of wacky guidance coming out there about. I read some of the stuff about weddings today. It's hard to really make sense of a lot of it, but I think the intent is good. But I think again, if we can all apply some common sense, then that'll really help. So. Case numbers are decent and not heading in a bad direction. And even in some of the correspondence I received from the state, this was one of the emails I received recently, based on projected decrease of COVID-19 positivity and infectivity rates, downward trends in key hospitalization and other healthcare capacity metrics, and increased vaccination rates of New Yorkers this year. The Department of Health has recalibrated capacity restrictions for certain industries and authorized additional congregate activities to occur. And again, whether it's a catered event at a restaurant or a wedding or a sporting event, there's a lot of different guidance out there, but we'll try to simplify it for everyone. Good news, we'll move right into the vaccine that was noted in there. Thankful to Kinney's and the Office for the Aging. I know, Sheriff, you were there this weekend in St. Johnsville for a few hours. We did 1,400 seniors. The first event in Hegeman got off to a little rocky start, and we got behind, but we're taking some corrective measures for the second dose, and I know Sheriff's going to help with more of the traffic flow and things of that nature, and hopefully get off to a better start. With these clinics, once you get behind, it's really hard to get caught up. So we appreciate everyone's patience there, and we're gonna hopefully improve that total time you're in and out for the next time. So you got 1,400 cases or vaccines there. The county, you'll see on our post today, we've done about 2,300 first doses and just over 1,000 second doses. Those are both Pfizer and Moderna. And when you look at where we're at as far as a county compared to, if you look at Albany, Schenectady, they're just above 30% of the population that has received at least the first dose. Montgomery County is at 27.5% of the population that has received the first dose. 6,700 have gotten both doses. 13,000 and change have just gotten the first dose. So we're at 27.5%. I wanted to get an idea where we are compared to comparable counties, so I pulled Fulton and Schoharie. Fulton's at 21% of the population with at least one dose, and Schoharie's at 23, and we're at 27.5. So we're doing pretty good there. A lot of work to go, but we do have some more encouraging signs. You're seeing the supply really increase, and actually this week in our information that we've gotten from the state, actually for the first time a doctor's office is getting vaccine supply. Dr. Patel is getting 100. We got 300 this past week. St. Mary's is getting 100, and also Kinney Drugs in St. Johnsville is getting 100. So, those have been somewhat consistent in the last few weeks. But the good news is the governor just said that tomorrow anyone over 50. So, if you're in that 50 to 60 range and you can travel, obviously, you can give our office a call, but there are open spots. I checked before we got here at Albany, Oneonta, Queensbury, and Utica. And those are the mass vaccination sites. And the one for the Mohawk Valley was chosen to be in Oneonta. I think they didn't necessarily go with a Fulton and Montgomery County spot because of, you got one in Utica, Albany, Queensbury, and then south in Oneonta. I think they're just trying to geographically spread them out. So there's a lot of open spots, and they just expanded the eligibility. So I think, and I think it was in the paper today, give it another month, and I think you're going to start to see that supply outpace demand.
Interesting, man, with those stats. If statistics are true and only 40% or 50% of people have been wanting the vaccine, which we'd like to see more, but it is a personal preference. We're over halfway there for the people who want it in this county, so that's a plus.
And we're definitely seeing an easing, so to speak, in the office with calls. We're working right now on the wait list for those 50 to 60 and trying to schedule folks. We're going to have another first dose clinic on Thursday, trying to reach out to our businesses, things of that nature. So it's going along pretty well. Also now, pharmacies can do vaccinations for those with comorbidities. So you're seeing an increase of supply, you're seeing an increase in access. And we used to say eligible doesn't necessarily mean available, but you're really starting to get to that point where it is available. So we're going to focus on, in the county, folks that may not be able to travel, whether it be a health concern, an age concern, just a personal issue, or even a work issue. And then, you still have those 4 sites that have a lot of spots open. So that's good. And, just to give some perspective, and I think this is a good segue into, Jeff, one of the things we were going to talk about today is before we got on, I asked people how much has changed in a year. And on this day 1 year ago, the total number of people that were tested for COVID in Montgomery County was 6 people. You compare that to the most recent number for today, it was 302. So there's a lot of testing going on. Certainly a lot has changed from 1 year ago today. In addition to that, obviously, the testing is at, I think on Friday we said in the control room, we're testing 12 times the recommended amount you should be testing. So there's clearly a lot of testing going on. You have the vaccine going on. You have all of the hospitals and healthcare facilities that have developed surge capacity if they need it. And the treatment of those with COVID has improved. So as we head into spring and summer, I think those are all good things for us to start to return to normal. We just wanted to have a little bit of a talk today about, there's a lot of guidance out there. I'm not going to go through and, obviously if you're having a wedding, you need to have a good conversation with your wedding venue. And if you're, going out to a restaurant, obviously these restaurants are trying to follow their rules, and we'll get the pause complaints if they're not. But also sporting events are at 20% capacity. So we're having discussions. How does that apply to, say the racing? We know that's going to be big this year, especially with some of the local individuals that are making a big splash. They have some Mohawks. I know some people go Diamond Dogs if you're in the western part of the county. These things are going to happen this year, but there's still, some issues out there, and the state is looking to tie testing or a vaccination card to some of these events, and it's something to be mindful of. Me personally, I feel like we're doing a lot of testing, and I think people, can be responsible and need to be responsible. They're talking about anything above 500 people outdoors for catered events having testing. Not sure how it exactly is going to relate with the Fonda Fair, but we want to see people have a good time this summer, but do it responsibly, right, Sheriff? I mean, we're going to, for sure. We know a lot more than we did last year, and I think we're going to try to use that experience to do a lot of the same similar things we did last year.
Yeah, as this guidance changes daily, it seems like it's almost daily. It's hard for everyone to stay on top of it, but we're going to deliver that same message we've been delivering for the entire year. Mm-hmm. We will partner with this community. We will do everything we can to educate people.
Education first.
We're not coming there to count individuals at a location. Yep. If there's this big rager, right, that gets out of control, and we have a spring break type incident where there's thousands of people, and somebody gets hurt or sick, is there a possibility that we're going to get involved? Yeah, but that's our jobs. That's what we're supposed to do. All we ask is, right, enjoy responsibly, do the best you can, try to follow guidance to the best of your ability, and we're all going to get through this, just like we've said all along. We'll be fine.
Yeah, and there's, you might be a healthy, vaccinated person and who's ready to get out there and have a great time. But, I just had a personal experience just at a local convenience store where there's somebody without a mask on, and, a gentleman spoke up, and I got to say he was very respectful, but he indicated to the other person, he said, do you see what I have here? And he said, I just had open heart surgery, and, I'm worried about, dying, is your life worth more than mine? And, I think, while a lot of us have started to get a sense of comfort or, a sense of really wanting to get back to normalcy, I think we also just need to be mindful of others, that there are people out there that are in more riskier situations, and there's a lot of nerves out there. And so I think, I think for the most part, we're going to be fine. We have a really good community. There's always going to be issues. We're certainly not Miami and spring break, and I don't think we're going to see people in the streets and these all-out ragers and things of that nature. And the folks that are putting on events, whether it's the Fonda Speedway or the Amsterdam Mohawks or, some of our parks. I've talked to a number of municipal officials who are, going to have gatherings in parks and things. They're going to do it the right way, and they're going to try to do it the right way. And that's really what we're asking of people, is just be mindful of others, have your fun, but let's also be mindful of others. So, and I have a sense of comfort because of the amount of testing that's happening. And we're seeing it in schools. You've got a potential issue with Amsterdam football. I know there's some other sports teams in the western part of the county. We're still going to be living with this, but I think we have the tools in the toolbox to manage it now. And in addition to the tools, the only other thing you need is a good attitude. And I think if we all, take a good attitude, we're going to get through this no problem. It'll start to get easier. I was looking at the numbers. Basically March, April, and May of last year was just gearing up testing. And then you saw, pretty much through the summer, it stayed pretty low. So even as the testing increased as far as the positivity rate. So fingers crossed that'll happen again this year, but that's where we're at. And just one other point in talking about, the guidance changing, even in this email, it's starting March 15th, it's this. Starting March 19th, it's that. Starting March 22nd, it's this. It's changing literally.
It's difficult.
Every week, if not a few days at a time. So, and the packet for weddings was about this thick. So one of the quotes that kind of made me chuckle, and I understand this is a serious topic, but you have to, it said, socially distanced dancing will be allowed in, the designated areas. And I can't imagine that. Sounds like a lot of fun. So if you're having a wedding this year, God bless you. So that's our report. Cases are doing, and trends are still good. Vaccine rollout is going well, especially with the 1,400 that we just did with Office for the Aging. The mass sites are open. Oneonta, Albany, Queensbury, Utica all have open spots. 50 and over can get the vaccine now. And again, if you are eligible and you have a trouble getting to some of these mass sites, give our office a call. We'll do our best to help you out. We did get 300 doses that we're looking to do Thursday. So that's where we're at. How are we doing on questions today, Morgan?
There's a couple.
Okay.
If a county resident receives their vaccine outside the county, does that still count into Montgomery County's numbers for total
Yes,
people vaccinated?
that is correct. So those are Montgomery County residents. So if you got it at Albany, and actually that was one of the things a few weeks back I answered with the papers. They were asking why we were a little higher. I think it's the ease of access to get to an Albany or a Utica. But yeah, if you're a Montgomery County resident, you are included. And right now, 13,620 out of our 49,455 have received at least the first dose.
Have there been new guidelines published for churches as to capacity? With the change in restaurants now being allowed to have 75% capacity, has that been extended to other industries?
I have not seen.
I haven't heard a word about churches.
And it was funny because we got a call, not funny, but interesting because we got a call about church capacity, and Morgan and I went and looked it up, and it's been the same as pretty much what it has been. I believe it was 50%, a lot of the similar things, 12 feet with singing, and in one way, out one way, stuff like that. So The church guidance, I don't believe has changed. It is, if you just search it, religious guidance, New York State, it'll pop right up in your Google search. If you have any issues or questions, please give us a call. I've had a number of conversations with, whether it be a pastor or priest or just someone that is, involved in the church. They're getting it. You're getting it a little bit both ways. Folks that want it to loosen up a little bit, and then you still have people in the congregation that are again still nervous.
Especially with Easter coming up, a lot of
Yes.
organizations will have outside sunrise services.
Yeah.
I remember that last year actually
Yeah.
during COVID. So maybe you could ask on the control room call.
Yeah, I'll ask
Next
again.
week we'll have an answer.
And we'll check back at the office if it's, Morgan can reshare that. But I don't believe there's been any big changes there.
So people over 50 and also people that are immunocompromised can now go to a pharmacy for the vaccine?
What I read was pharmacies can now vaccinate those with comorbidities.
Even 16, correct? Didn't they
Yes.
lower it to 16 and over now?
Correct.
Instead of 18.
Yes, but there's especially with the minors, there's some
Right.
additional steps you have to take. But that big thing there was, because the pharmacies could only do, and we ran in this too with our clinics with the Office for the Aging and Kinney's. It was a hard 60 and over. This is opening up pharmacies to those comorbidities, so that's good news.
Tomorrow is 50 and older, but
Correct.
I'm not sure if that's at the pharmacy or only at other.
No, that's not at the pharmacies. Well, my understanding of it is 50 and over are eligible, so you'd be eligible potentially for a county vaccine, but also these mass sites. Like I said, I'll say it again, Albany, Oneonta, Queensbury, and Utica all have open appointments as we speak, or at least before I checked this morning.
Do you know which pharmacies have the Johnson & Johnson vaccine? And these pop-up sites such as Utica, which vaccines do they use?
So it will tell you when you go to register, and I believe it's a mix of both, depending on the site. So when you go on, you can not only choose your location, but you can actually see which one it is. The Johnson & Johnson hasn't been really prevalent yet. I don't believe we've actually gotten any yet. I know we haven't vaccinated any. Because right now we've done, basically mostly Moderna. We've done 212 Pfizers as compared to almost 3,000 Moderna. So Moderna is clearly the one that was out first. We had the most, about 3,000. Then again, Pfizer about 212, and Johnson & Johnson we do hear is on the way, but we actually. I have not received any confirmation that we've gotten any Johnson & Johnson yet. And I know there's a lot of people that are itching for it because it's the one shot. And trust me, it's not only those getting vaccinated, it's the vaccinators because, it's half the work. I mean, every time we vaccinate someone, we're then scheduling another appointment and have to do it again. So it certainly cuts down the work. But I know there's been, a lot of folks have preference. I've been very interested to find
I think
out.
a lot of that has to do with what they hear,
Yes,
right?
yes.
The side effects and how it affects different people.
Exactly.
I had my first vaccine at the county building on the 11th. Everyone there was so nice and they kept things moving along. I just wanted to thank everyone there for what they're doing.
Awesome. Yeah, the public health has been doing a great job. Also, our partners at Calderwood Training Solutions have been a big help. We had one where the state system crashed and we had a big line. It was about 20-minute backup, but for the most part, it's been going well. We appreciate that comment, and we'll certainly pass that along to public health.
How long is the waiting list for the county? I have an underlying qualifying condition and I'm still waiting.
I would tell that person to give our office a call, talk to Nancy, and give her information. We'll do our best to help out. The wait list for 60 plus, we're still, trying to go through and make sure we're not missing anyone. We did thousands of phone calls for the two big clinics with Kinney's. And so if there's anyone that may have slipped through the cracks, or we called and missed them and had to move on in the list, give our office a call, and we'll do our best to help you out. And right now we've switched gears and are really focusing on that 50 to 60 as far as scheduling appointments. So if you're above 60, again, there's other options. There's the pharmacy. but also the county. We'll do our best to help you out.
If someone tested positive for COVID and was around someone that just got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine 2 days prior, does the vaccinated person just monitor any symptoms?
I mean, you'd have to determine whether or not it was a close contact. You said the first person did test positive and then was around somebody else 2 days later or 2 days prior?
2 days prior.
What I would say, Sheriff, going back to what we've said before, I would say yes, common sense, monitor yourself. I'm not sure that would qualify you for a quarantine, but if there are questions, call public health. But I would say in a lot of these situations where it's not really cut and dry.
The three thing rule that I always try to remember, right, is less than 6 feet, more than 15 minutes without a face covering.
Yep.
So you got to answer those questions in close proximity.
And I'm not sure about Johnson & Johnson, but I know with the Moderna vaccine, you weren't considered fully inoculated until a certain amount
14
of
days.
Yeah.
Following getting vaccinated. So just because they received the shot doesn't mean that.
Yeah. Now that person might not technically qualify for a quarantine, but again, I would just use your common sense. And, if you have a 95-year-old grandmother, you might want to wait, 10 days before and just keep an eye on your symptoms before you go visit and do hugs and all that stuff. I mean, we've been doing this a long time now, Sheriff. I think, those are, we don't need to be the public health director
answers,
to,
yeah.
it's just, it's kind of using your noggin and.
Sarah has trained us well.
Yes. I can hear her in the back of my mind. But yeah, I'm not sure if that would qualify for a quarantine or not. But again, if that's not a satisfactory answer, I would say give public health a call and they can talk it through with you.
Yeah, if there's any questions whatsoever. Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward. I know you're a big Syracuse fan and Sweet 16. I know there's a lot of happy people out there. I think there's a lot of reason for optimism for spring and the summer. And, Sheriff, it's not going to be without bumps in the road. I know everybody's excited to get football going and some other sports, and you have some games canceled. But I think we'll just persevere through it. You can't change some of these things, but you can control what your reaction is to them, what your attitude is, and what do we say? Be kind, be respectful.
Yeah, communicate. We always say there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yep.
I mean, we should be proud of where we're at. Things are headed in the right direction, and it's going to be a good summer.
We're in a heck of a better situation than we were a year ago. When I looked and saw that there were only 6 COVID tests done 1 year ago today, it just kind of shows, how far we've come on testing, how far we've come on vaccines, how far we've come on, treating people that get sick. That's where we're at. But again, let's not be spring break Miami. Let's have a good time, but do it responsibly. So that's where we're at. Hopefully next week will be similar theme, and we'll certainly keep you posted. And if you have any questions in the meantime, give us our office a call, give us a message, and I hope everybody has a great week. It's going to be gorgeous out there.
Stay safe, stay healthy.
You got it. Take care, everybody.